you have a hard time solving word problems? Well, today's your lucky day because I have a solution for you. Hello, mathematicians. Welcome back to Epic Adventures in 3rd grade. For today's adventure, we're going to be detectives searching for math clues. Today, we're going to learn 3 different math strategies to help us solve multiplication and division problems, especially if they make you nervous. I know exactly what you mean. You really have to put on your thinking cap when you're solving word problems. Try this. Instead of calling them word problems, let's call them story problems. You like to read stories, right? Well, when you read stories, you're just trying to figure out what's happening in the story. Word problems or story problems can be done exactly the same way. You're just trying to figure out the answer to a problem. Strategy 1. Draw a picture. After you read the story problem, close your eyes and visualize what just happened. Then open your eyes and draw a picture. Then you can decide if it makes more sense to multiply, which gives you a larger number, or divide, which gives you a smaller number. Let's try an example together. Let's begin by reading the story problem. Our family bought 4 ice cream cones at Beans Ice Cream. Each small cone cost $4. How much was our bill before tax? Let's start by drawing a picture of our word problem. Our word problem says that we bought 4 ice cream cones. So let's start by drawing 4 ice cream cones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that we have 4 ice cream cones, we're going to look at the next part of our word problem. Each small cone costs $4, so I'm going to write a 4 inside of each ice cream cone. After I do that, I can tell that I'm going to get a larger number. So I'm definitely not going to divide, I'm going to multiply, because when we multiply, we get a larger number. 4 times 4 equals 16. If we didn't know the answer, we could also group our 4's together to make 4 plus 4 equals 8, 4 plus 4 equals 8, and then we know our double facts, so we already know that 8 plus 8 equals 16. Either way, you're drawing a picture to help you figure out the answer. Here's our final equation. 4 times $4 equals $16. As you read the story problem, act out what is happening. You know, like where you watch actors in a movie or on TV. This strategy also helps you visualize what is happening in the story problem. Let's try an example together. Let's begin by reading the story problem. Mrs. Taylor baked 12 cookies for her family. If there are 4 people in her family, how many cookies does each person get? I put 4 plates on the table because there are 4 people eating cookies. Notice how I'm sharing the cookies with the 4 plates. Notice that they have equal amounts of cookies on each of the plates. How many cookies are on each plate? That's right, there are 3 cookies on each plate. So 12 divided by 4 equals 3 cookies. Each person in the family gets 3 cookies apiece. Our third strategy for helping us solve word problems requires us to be a detective. So grab yourself a detective hat and a magnifying glass so we can look for clues to help us decide if we're going to multiply or divide in our word problems. If you don't have a magnifying glass, feel free to make one on paper or simply use your finger like this to make a magnifying glass. Our third math strategy for solving word problems is called cubes. There are 5 different things that we need to search for when we're reading a word problem. If we look at the first letter of each phrase, it spells the word cubes. Let's begin by reading the story problem. I bought 4 pizzas for a party. If each pizza has 8 slices, how many slices of pizza are there altogether? This is where you become a detective. C stands for circle the numbers. Notice how I circled the numbers 4 and 8 since those are the numbers in my story problem. U stands for underline the question. Search the story problem for the question. It's pretty easy to find because it ends in a question mark. Underline the question so you know what to start thinking about. In this word problem, the question is, how many slices of pizza are there all together? B stands for box and the keywords. In this case, I drew a rectangle around the keyword each pizza. Unfortunately, the keyword each isn't enough because you see the word in both multiplication and division story problems. The second keyword altogether tells me that I want a larger number, so I have to multiply. Altogether can also be found in addition problems, but since we see altogether and each in the same story problem, we're going to try to multiply first. Here is a list of keywords that might help you determine if you're going to multiply or divide. Remember that when you multiply, you get a larger number. Here are some keywords that you might see when you multiply. Product, groups of, each, altogether. Warning! Be careful of the word altogether. That's also a keyword for addition. Stop and think to see which one makes more sense in your story problem. When you divide, you get a smaller number. You might see some keywords like quotient, into groups, each, shared evenly. Keep in mind that not all story problems have keywords, so you might have to draw a picture or act it out instead. E stands for evaluate and eliminate. When I think of the word evaluate, I might ask the question, what steps do I take to solve this problem? I can either multiply the numbers together or divide them. I also ask the question, can I eliminate or get rid of any of the answer choices that don't make sense? Let's take a look at our story problems to see how this helps us. When I multiply 4 times 8, I get a larger number, 32. When I divide 8 divided by 4, I get a smaller number, 2. I know that it doesn't make sense to divide since I started out with 8 slices for each pizza. 2 would mean that we ate some. That's not the case. We were trying to see how many slices that we bought. Now I'm going to eliminate the division equation. I put an X on the one I got rid of so I don't accidentally pick that answer later. S stands for solve and check. Read your problem over again one more time. Does your answer make sense? If it does, great. If it doesn't, then use a different strategy or ask your teacher for some help. Let's look at our story problem one more way to make sure that it makes sense. Here's a picture that shows what my 4 pizzas look like. You can see how each slice is divided into 8 pieces. Let's count by 8s to see how many slices there are altogether. 8, 16, 24, 32. Yes, our answer makes sense. 4 times 8 equals 32 slices of delicious pizza. All of this pizza is really making me hungry. How about you? I sure hope that these 3 math strategies that we learned today are going to help you feel more comfortable solving word problems. Oops, I mean story problems. If you liked today's video, make sure to click the like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single adventure. Until next time, hold your head up high, ask your teacher lots of questions, and practice, 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 young mathematicians. Bye!